Hello, I'm Lugatorix and welcome to my first ever episode of the Gaul campaign on Rome Total War. I've chosen Gaul because I feel like they're one of the hardest barbarian factions by virtue of the fact that they have so many different enemies surrounding them around sort of France and northern Italy area. I have the campaign difficulty on very hard and the battle difficulty on hard. I feel like this suits my playstyle the most. We'll get into the faction introduction video and then we'll look at the campaign map.
Before my grandfather's grandfather was born, this was our land. These are good places. Our gods live here, in the trees and rivers. They watch over us. We are happy. We hunt. We love. We have families, homes, a good life. But sometimes we must fight. The Romans disturb the gods. They burn the forests. They take what is ours, wives, children, land. And the Romans talk of how they will help us and protect us. They put us to sleep with golden promises. When we wake, all we had is gone, stolen. They take our sons and turn them into little Romans. Ha! So we fight to keep what is ours. What must stay ours. There can be no peace. No peace with Romans, men of stone and iron and lies. There can be only war.
Okay, so this is the campaign map for Gaul. As you can see, they start off with quite a few territories, spread out over a relatively large area. We have 4 territories over here in France, 2 in northern Italy, and then 1 in central Spain. And there are a lot of enemies around, as I said in the introduction. So, for example, Britannia own a settlement here. It's going to be very important to isolate Britannia on the island of Britain because there are threats. So if we take this settlement here, then we should be able to isolate them rather well. We have the Spanish over here surrounding Numantia pretty much. We have Germania in the northeast. They shouldn't be too much of a threat in the early game because they don't tend to expand too aggressively, but later on with the axemen and so forth it could be rather difficult, so that's a sort of a threat we need to keep an eye on. And then the biggest threat of all obviously is the House of Julii in the north of Italy. They have some very strong troops, particularly after the Marian reforms, so we can't let them develop too quickly. We need to strike on them rather soon, I would say, because if they start spamming out Praetorian cohort or even urban cohort, you know, it would be disastrous. We wouldn't be able to keep up with them with our war bands and so forth. So let's have a look at what armies we have. As I said earlier, we need to take this settlement off Britannia very, very quickly to isolate them. So we have an army here in Alesia. Yeah, mostly comprising of war bands. Let's have a look at the war bands. So they're not particularly strong. They have an attack of 8 and a defense of 11, and they don't have great morale. That's a sort of a problem with them. They do have 121 soldiers in a unit though, which is good. It means they're rather numerous on the battlefield. And then sort of similarly, we have Barbarian Cavalry, similar attack and defense. They don't have good morale at all. They can't really stand up to a lot before routing. 54 soldiers in the unit is quite good for some light cavalry. And then Druids, I don't really rate Druids that highly. They do have rather good attack and defense ratings with excellent morale and very good stamina, which would make you think that they're very, very good. The problem is there's only 32 soldiers in a unit, so I sort of compare them to the Arcani of the Roman factions, in a sense they look good, but 32 soldiers in a unit, they're not going to be that sort of impactful on the battlefield if you consider that there's some units that have 121 soldiers in a unit, like the war bands, so the Druids we won't be using as much. It's nice to have them though, just in case, as a sort of backup I suppose. So we're going to need to move this army north. Unfortunately, these two settlements literally only start with one warband each, so we can't really take them out for risk of public uprising and so forth. So, unless, yeah, okay, let's move this army a little bit forward up north. It's not going to be easy. We'll move this guy up, Brennus. 52 years old. He won't be around for much longer, in all honesty. So let's move Brennus up, along with... you know what, I'm going to move everything up apart from the Druids. And we're going to move them towards the Britannic settlements up here. So they're going to move up north. And I don't believe there's any good mercenaries available. Only barbarian mercenaries. They cost 800 denarii, which is quite expensive for what you get. Honestly, very similar to Warband, but slightly worse. Numerous in numbers, but not worth 800 denarii. I'd only use them as a last resort if Britain have loads of armies around here. Okay, so that's honestly all we can do with Brennus up here. Now, this is the important stuff. Down here, in the north of Italy, how are we going to deal with the Julii? They have a settlement right here. We need to defend Mediolanum and Patavium really, really well, because they're the first settlements that the Julii go for, really, as they expand up north. So, I'm going to move this diplomat down south. He can sort of act as a spy in a way. He can help us see what's around. For example, we've already seen that there is an army right here, Flavius Julius. Now, I am wondering, maybe we could try and extort a little bit of money off him, as we're not enemies yet. So, I'll offer him trade rights, map information. I would quite like map information as well. And a single payment, I'm not sure how much I should ask for. I'll say 800 denarii, that might be a little bit too much, but they should be rather rich. We'll offer them that. And they've accepted it. Okay, that worked out pretty well. So we've now got 800 more denarii, map information, so we can see they've got two settlements up here. Yeah, and that's worked actually very, very well. I'm very surprised. Okay, so let's move this diplomat a little bit further south, just so we have more visibility. And already the Julii are rather strongly defended, I think. Arretium, 3 units in there. I should have looked at how many units Flavius Julius has. But at least we know that there is an army sort of lingering around there now. So here's the main man himself, Lugatorix. 18 years old. I like Lugatorix, as you could probably tell. Very, very young general. Intelligent and stern. Both good characteristics for a general. And he starts off with a smallish army here. Skirmisher warband. Let's have a look at these. Not particularly amazing, but they're fast moving. They're good if you like sort of skirmishing, and they're sort of the only sort of missiles we have at the beginning, so they could be quite useful, I would say. Patavium has a smallish army here, and Mediolanum is not too well defended either, considering that there are Julii very, very close. So we're going to need to move some more force over here, and we have Vindex over here in Narbo Martius, and he's going to have to move east towards northern Italy. Now, Narbo Martius has a few warbands. We can move 2 of them over to join Vindex. Okay, so that's a decent sized army. I'm guessing the mercenaries available are going to be only barbarians. Yep, that is the case. So, this guy needs to move east towards Massilia. I think Massilia is around here. Yep, there we go. Only 2 rebels. It's an easy settlement to take. It's on the Mediterranean coast. That's sort of one of the first moves any sort of Gaelic campaign should be moving towards. So yeah, Vindex will attack Massilia next turn, hopefully. Okay, that seems to be all we can do there. Now, the final settlement we need to attend to is Numantia. Already not making a lot of money, minus 467 per turn, but a decent sized army here. I don't want to move them east as well, because I am concerned that the Spanish... This is difficult. It's a difficult decision. Do we want to start 3 wars early on? Or do we want to make peace with the Spanish and then later on break that alliance? We haven't even got a diplomat here, which is slightly annoying, and I can't see at all what we've got. Although I do fear that we need more troops in northern Italy. So, okay, I think we need a diplomat here. We'll see how much money we have by the end of the turn. Talking of money, let's have a look at the finances very quickly. So we are set to make a projected profits of 2,000. So that's good. So we're making money, so we can afford to recruit some infantry, for example, which is always nice. So let's have a look up here what we can recruit in Alesia to help Brennus up here. We'll have a look at these buildings and shrines in a minute. They are quite good. More war bands, 420 denarii per turn. If you consider the barbarian mercenaries worth nearly double that amount, it's not worth getting these mercenaries. You might as well just get the warband instead. Now we have one naval force right here. I know that it's going to be a Britannic navy around here, which is probably about as strong, if not slightly stronger, than our navy, so we don't want to go attacking it quite yet. But I would quite like to move this boat over just so I can see more what's going on over here. Yeah, so this is the settlement in question. Belenus has a 5-unit army, and then the settlement itself only has 1 unit in it. Probably about as strong as what we've got here. So we need to be a little bit careful just so we don't get caught out. Now, I think the priority in terms of building and recruitment needs to be these 2 settlements, so this is vital. If we lose these 2, the Romans are going to storm through and take everything. So Patavium first of all. I think a stockade has got to be a priority here. We needed just a little bit of defense against the Romans. At the moment, they could just storm in, take it. They wouldn't even need to build a ram. It's that bad. So that's a good usage of the money right there. Recruitment wise, only warbands. I'll recruit a warband. I think that could be quite useful. And as for Mediolanum, let's have a look at that quickly. So we should probably do the same for Mediolanum. Yep, let's get a stockade. Only 760 denarii. That seems relatively reasonable for what we get. Obviously things like traders and land clearance is also very useful, but in this area particularly, defense is a priority. Okay, so let's have a look at this spy quickly. I think we need to move him down, definitely. We need to see what the Romans are doing. That's sort of vital. He can't really see a lot, but he can see Flavius Julius, who has himself, obviously, 2 units of Astarte, stronger than our warband, certainly. Triarii, they're basically spearmen. And then archers, which we don't even have archers at this stage, I don't think, or maybe 1 unit somewhere. Okay. So, the Romans are obviously a lot stronger than we are at the moment, so we need to sort of consolidate a force around here and then attack. If we go for Retium straight away, we're just going to get knocked back, and we're going to lose a lot of force, so yeah, it's a shame there's not a bridge around here, but okay. So, now we've sorted that out, let's move up here. Alesia, not particularly happy, for some reason. They look like they do already have a stockade, which is useful. Let's have a look at a trader. Population growth bonus, that seems like a good place to start, I would say. So let's build a trader in Alesia. We might have to get rid of that if we run out of money. Rennes up here. Hasn't even got a palisade. Oh my goodness, okay. That's not great. There doesn't really seem like much of a threat though to this place, unless Britain move west very, very quickly. But considering they're going to be concerned with this force, a palisade doesn't seem like it's going to be priority over here. We could build land clearance, we could build a trader. Lebanon already has a palisade, which is good at least. Let's move the tax rate up a little bit here. Get some more money. The same can be said for Rennes. Alesia, we definitely won't move the tax rate up because they're not particularly happy already. Narbo Martius hasn't got much of a garrison, so I don't want to move up too much. We'll just put it to high. They do have mines here, 2,000 denarii though. I don't think we can quite afford that yet, but that will be good in the future. As for Numantia, now I'd quite like to form an alliance with the Spanish and then move this force up here. We have to hope that the Spanish trust us, or we trust the Spanish enough to move our army out without them attacking us. So I would quite like a diplomat in this area. So let's recruit a diplomat, only 250, and I feel like it's worth it. We won't move this force out until we know definitely that we've got an alliance with the Spanish, I would say. Something I would like are docks up here, because although we've got a navy, there doesn't seem like we can recruit any more. And I would quite like to blockade all of the British ports. If you do that, they can never get an army over to the mainland, and they're isolated forever essentially up here. It's quite a good tip if you're the Gauls particularly. So let's see. Okay, we can't have a dock here, that's a shame. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the tax rate down so that population growth increases, so we can get closer to the dock very soon. Let's actually move it down to normal again. Now we still have a bit of money, so I'm wondering where we should recruit first. I think, well, Northern Italy seems like a bit too obvious, so let's do that. Warband, I think we're recruiting a warband already in Batavium, aren't we? Yes, we are. Okay, that's good. Okay, I don't really see what more particularly we need to invest in, but we do still have 2,500, so even if it's just land clearance or something like that. And if we're going to have land... Oh no, let's not lose Batavium quite so soon. If we're going to have land clearance anywhere, let's have it in the south. So let's have land clearance or a trader. I'll have a trader first. It costs the same amount, so that should be alright. 1,950 denarii left. Let's see what we can build in Numantia. I know we can have docks in Numantia. And a good point is, even if we can't get docks in here, we should be able to get them in Lebanon. No, okay, we still can't. I won't move the tax rate down there yet. Numantia. Numantia can have docks. It will take quite a while for ships to get up to Britain. That's the only concern. Let's just build land clearance here. 1,380 denarii. Alright, is Alessia recruiting any troops? No. Okay, let's have another warband in Alessia. Or we could have Barbarian Cavalry. What forces Belenus got here? Could do with some more cavalry, I suppose. I'm going to go with warband. And then... No, I'll tell you what, we'll put a warband here, because that's what we can recruit. And then we'll change this, and we'll put Barbarian Cavalry over here. Okay, now we haven't got a lot of money, 560 denarii. So this looks like it should be pretty much the end of the turn. We're going to put Massilia under siege next turn. The troops up in Numantia are going to be moving out, hopefully, if we're going to form an alliance with the Spanish. We are recruiting a diplomat here, yep. And then we should be consolidating the force in the north of Italy, while also hopefully launching an attack on the British very soon. Not quite sure if we've got enough force quite yet, but we'll have to simulate forward and see. Okay, let's see what happens then. So the Julii around there. Okay, so that was very quick. Let's have a look at what's happening then. So, end of turn reports. We should have made a bit of money. Well, no, we didn't, but we still have 1,419 denarii. Obviously, we spent quite a lot that turn, so that's alright. Largest faction should be us, actually. Yeah, we are the largest faction, and we will be the strongest faction, I'm guessing, as well. But that's because we have lots of settlements at the beginning. It doesn't actually mean we're the strongest, really, because we have a lot of enemies around us. We're quite vulnerable in terms of our positioning. And in unit recruitment, we're already recruiting quite a lot, which is good. That's what I like to see. Okay, let's start off in Massilia, where Vindex can put Massilia under siege. Oh, he might not be able to quite get there in time for this turn. Please. No, he can't. Oh my goodness. Okay. Vindex can't quite get to Massilia this turn, which is it puts us back a little bit. It's a little bit annoying. Still only barbarian mercenaries available as well. Next turn, he will attack Massilia. And that is a shame that he couldn't do that. Oh, I do have an idea. To get a little bit forward, him and the Barbarian Cavalry. Nope, they can't. Okay, they can't either. That's fine. So yeah, they'll attack Massilia next turn. In terms of Numantia, we have a diplomat now, which is good. Just trying to work out where the closest settlement will be to us. I think that's Asturica or something like that up there. I'm going to move this diplomat this way very slowly. See if he can find a Spanish force anywhere. Because the quicker we find a Spanish, the quicker we can form an alliance, obviously. None so far. Let's move to settlement over here. There'll be someone, hopefully. Okay, hopefully next turn we'll be able to find a Spaniard around here. Until then, I won't move the army out of Numantia. That's too risky, in my opinion. Okay, up here we have Brennus. Still only barbarian mercenaries available. And in this settlement we have Belenus and 4 units of garrison inside Samoro Breva, the Britannic settlement. Okay. I am wondering whether we should launch an attack now or should we consolidate a bit more force. We have another unit of warbands here. We have some barbarian cavalry which should catch up. I think we should at least have another unit of cavalry. That would be nice before we attack. So let's move this cavalry up here. Let's move Brennus up here. Next turn, I think... Oh, there's someone else over here. Let's have a look a bit closer. Standing just behind Belenus, or just in front rather. 2 more units. So, okay, good idea we need an attack now because we're still not quite strong enough in my opinion. Very close to being so, I reckon. Okay, we're going to leave that for a little while. I'm slightly concerned about whether we could take this because it does seem like there's quite a decent sized British force around here. So we'll have to see. Let's see about that. Okay, let's move to this north of Italy rather. Let's get the spy over here. Over to Arretium. This should be probably our first target if we are to take anything. Also, diplomats. Right, where's our diplomat? Over here. There's a diplomat of the Senate. Let's see if we can get a bit more money from the Romans. So, trade rights, map information for map information, and let's ask for 1,000 denarii this time. Let's push our luck a little bit. Okay, so they're offering trade rights and map information for essentially 800 denarii, which, yeah, that's fine by me. So we'll accept that. And we can now see a little bit more of what's going on, which is good. Only, obviously, 1 settlement of the Senate, which is Rome. But that's okay. So, Lugatorix is over here, in next to Patavium. We need to consolidate a force. Mediolanum. Oh, there's Segesta right here. I completely missed Segesta. Okay. That has a decent force in as well. We don't want to attack that too soon. Yeah, it's very much a shame that the Julia have such a force up here. Let's see. Look at that. In Ariminum, there's a large garrison. So Arretium, I'd guess, wouldn't have a large garrison anymore. Still 4 units. It's probably more than we can muster. But Patavium and Mediolanum are starting to recruit troops, which is nice. Okay. So I don't think there's a huge amount more we can do this turn, but we are going to try and find something we can do. So Patavium can recruit even more. Can recruit a warband. Mediolanum can also recruit a warband. The more troops we have, the better, obviously. And then Lugatorix has no mercenaries anyway, so that's irrelevant. Okay, so we have 579 denarii. I want to move these troops out of Numantia. I feel like we do need them over here. I'm just wondering whether we can risk it or not. I'll leave it one more turn, and then I think we need to start attacking. To be honest, we need to start attacking the Julii. I don't want them to get too strong. They're going to attack us sooner or later. We might as well get the first blow in. So let's move some troops from Mediolanum. We have Eporidorix, who cannot have any mercenaries. Should he be staying in Mediolanum? I think... Yeah, I don't think he's going to be that much use in the battlefield. I don't want to risk him, so he can stay in Mediolanum. And we can have these 3 units move over. Don't want to move them into Julii territory, so we'll move them just here towards where this diplomat is. Lugatorix can join them, if I can click on him. Okay, so this is the makings of a decent sized army. Batavium can also move a few troops over. These 3 can move over with Lugatorix. And now we'll start to get a decent army. We have quite a few warbands. We have 1 skirmisher and 3 cavalry, sorry. So that's decent. We have a decent sized army here, which is always nice to see. It's a shame we don't have a decent sized army up here. But Alessia needs to be recruiting more warbands, or no, cavalry actually. And Rennes needs to recruit. Nope, we haven't got any money. Okay, that's fine. I think we should move the tax rate up a little bit. Lemanum's not too happy, so we won't do it for Lemanum. Rennes can have an increased tax rate. Numantia can have an increased tax rate, especially if they have a large garrison at the moment, and that they're sort of losing money, or not making as much as they should be anyway. So, that's okay. Up here, I don't want to move the tax rate up for Batavium too much. The reason is Batavium has an insane growth rate. If you have a look, it's 7% on a normal tax rate. Batavium is going to be a sort of a centre for technological growth in a sense, because they're going to get access to items and recruitment and constructions way before anyone else is, just by virtue of the fact they have the 7% population growth. So that's going to be important for us. We'll move the tax rate up a little bit in Mediolanum, however. Okay, that seems like all we can do again. Yeah, okay, so we'll move on to the next turn and see how that goes. Okay, let's end the turn. The Julii are moving up north, undoubtedly to attack us. It always seems to happen. Britannia are speaking with us. This is interesting. They want to bring trade and map information. This is good. Now, they're not particularly rich, so we can't really extort a lot of money out of them, but I'll try and extort a little bit. So, a single payment of 500 denarii should be nice. And they've got a deal if they do that. Yep, okay, we've got a deal. So that was okay. And, oh, more British force up in the north, which is not good. Not good at all. Okay, let's have a look at what's happened then. End of turn report. Lost 16 denarii, I think we can live with that. An agent found. Ah, Germania. Okay, so I said at the beginning they wouldn't be much of a threat, but it looks like they're targeting us already. This is the difficulty with the Gaelic campaign, is that, you know, there's so many enemies, and it looks like Germania are already losing trust. Also, a bunch of rebels have settled outside Alessia, which is even worse. Okay. So that's going to be, you know, losing trade. The people aren't going to be happy that there's rebels just outside. This isn't good. So we'll have to sort that out very soon. So, first of all, let's take Massilia. Vindex has access to the same bunch of mercenaries as usual. So let's take Massilia. We'll have to construct a ram. I'll construct 2. I think we only need 1. But we'll be able to take Massilia next turn, finally. Now, let's have a look at the situation up here, which is slightly concerning in all honesty. We have this force here with 4 units in. And we have this British town also with 4 units in. I would guess one of them would be Belenus, but I can't see Belenus, so I'm not sure where he's gone. And we have this force up here, which is our force, obviously. I am starting to get tempted to bring these barbarian mercenaries in just because we need numbers, but... And I can't take more units out of Alessia because there's these rebels that have turned up, which is not very good news at all. Okay, so, and then Rennes only has 2 units of warband. Okay, we really need these troops out of Numantia, so let's... here we go, here's Spanish.
Awaiting your command.
Now, I'm not sure if we'll be able to form an alliance. This is a little bit bold of us. We'll give them trade rights and map information. I would quite like map information as well. That seems like a reasonable offer, and yep, it is indeed. Okay, we're now allies with the Spanish. This is good. Hopefully, if they're trustworthy, this means that we can move these troops out. We don't have to worry too much. The only thing is... Yeah, okay, that's fine. So, we have to make sure that we move them within our territory. We don't want to go marching through Spanish territory. They might not like that. So this skirmish is quite good. I like him. Okay, we'll leave a unit of warband in. I'll see how unhappy the people of Numantia are. Okay, not very happy at all. They're on a very high tax rate though, so that doesn't help. We'll put the low tax rate in. And to pacify them, I'll consider putting a shrine in. So let's have a look at the shrines quickly. Public order bonus due to happiness, 5%. And experience, that's okay, that's quite good. Public order bonus and experience, that seems very, very similar. Missile weaponry, okay. And a 5% happiness bonus. And then 10% happiness bonus. I think that's probably what we need first, because these people aren't very happy. And I don't think this is going to be a huge recruitment centre at the beginning. It might be later, so I might regret that, but hopefully not. Okay, so the mercenaries are going to be Spanish mercenaries and Balearic slingers. They're quite good, but also quite expensive. So I don't think we can afford them, and we don't particularly need them in this part of the world at the moment anyway. So let's move these guys up towards our territory. Okay, so that's all we can do over here. And we're starting to have a better view of sort of the world, which is nice. Numantia, I'd like to recruit another unit in here, possibly, if we have enough money. Barbarian peasants, wow, they're bad. Okay, no, let's not have barbarian peasants. I'll consider recruiting warband here, potentially, but I think the Spanish should be trustworthy. We've only just formed an alliance with them, so hopefully it should be okay. Okay, so this is the main issue up here. We have a Julii spy, of course. We have this force moving up, possibly towards Mediolanum. This is the problem. If we move all our troops towards Lugatorix and then strike down here, then we're exposing Mediolanum massively. So this is why Vindex needs to get up here towards Mediolanum to defend it as quick as possible. And also Belenus needs to be recruiting big time. So another unit of warband should hopefully suffice for the moment. Lugatorix has this force, which is rather large, I have to admit, which is good. Okay, so let's have a look. Where do we want to target the Julii first? The problem is that, you know, if we could strike somewhere, take it, and then there's loads of settlements around it, it would just be vulnerable straight away. So this spy can see Arretium, 3 units of Hastati, and a general. Segesta isn't strongly reinforced at all, but there's this army standing right next to it, and that army, I'm guessing, is pretty decent. Yeah, 2 units of Hastati at least, and then probably some archers or something like that as well. And then over here, at Araminum, there's 4 units, and we don't know what armies around here. Let's see if the spy can stand here, so I can see both these settlements. That would be nice. Let's move him here. Hopefully he has good visibility. Better visibility. Okay, so there's an army of the Senate right here. Okay, yeah, we do not want to be engaging in a fight with this lot. 3 generals and then loads and loads of different units. They already have Principes, Hastati, Weletes, all sorts. Okay, so yeah, let's avoid them, definitely. Okay, I'm feeling that Araminum is the weakest of the settlements currently. So this is interesting. Okay. So, just wondering where I should attack first. Don't leave anywhere too vulnerable. Arretium seems decent. I say we go for Araminum first. I think that would be a sort of wise thing to do, because Arretium seems to be surrounded a little bit, which I don't like. And it also seems to be a lack of sort of reinforcements around Araminum. They do have a wooden wall. The most basic form of wall for the Romans, I think, whereas this place has a wooden palisade. So, advantages and disadvantages. If we take Araminum, we're more likely to keep it because of the sort of defences that are already there. But it'll be harder to take. But I think we should go. I think we should go for it. So, let's move Lugatorix towards Araminum. And we have better visibility of it as well. Let's have a look and see what's in it. Ah, okay. 2 generals. Hastati and some Weletes. That is a shame. That is a big shame, because we could have done without that. The generals are going to be quite strong. We can't see them, but they're going to be quite strong. And we only have one general. I mean, we do have lots of warbands. Are they effective against cavalry? No, they're not, which is not particularly helpful. Okay. Okay, I think we're still going to attack Ariminum, because Arretium, you know, there's still 80 units for Stati times 4. Weletes aren't particularly strong, and there's only 1 unit for Stati here, so yeah. The plan is still to go for Ariminum, so click on Lugatorix, we'll move him down to Ariminum. Attack neutral faction, but the war actually won't be declared until we actually strike and besiege Ariminum. So now we've done that, we've left these 2 settlements rather vulnerable, which is a slight problem, so we need to reinforce them as quick as we can. Mediolanum has its wooden palisade, or no, it's stockade already, which is good, and it's recruiting a warband, so this is good news. As for Patavium, it needs to be recruiting as much as possible, definitely. So we can just afford 1 warband, which is okay. So our only major problem really is up here. This is the bit I'm quite concerned with. Brennus needs to attack this settlement. We can't even afford barbarian mercenaries anymore, so that's kind of irrelevant. 4 units. The problem is this guy's going to be coming over, so it's essentially 8 units. We have 6 units, so we're going to be outnumbered if we attack this place. I think we've just got to be bold, to be honest. Okay, so we're going to be bold. We're going to attack this neutral faction, which is Britain, of course. Hopefully there's no armies we haven't seen. That's good. Okay, so this settlement is under siege, which is a declaration of war, obviously. So we'll build 2 rams, same as usual. We'll probably only use 1. Okay, so that's all we can do up here. Alessia I'm slightly worried about, because of the rebels. There's not a lot we can do about it though. At some point we will get rid of the rebels, but we need to focus on the British first. I don't think they're going to besiege us. I hope they don't. That's all I can say about that. And then yeah, this force is moving up, and then this force is going to attack Massilia next turn. So I'm going to end the turn, see what happens, because there's nothing more we can do with the amount of money we have. The only thing I can do is raise the tax rate at Narbo Martius, because money is very, very important at the moment. So let's see what happens. Okay. Someone is talking. Carthage is talking to Numantia. They want trade rights, map information. That's good. I'm fine with that. I wouldn't mind an alliance with Carthage as well. The only problem is that Carthage and Spain are likely to get into conflict, and then the alliance with Spain will collapse if that happens. So, although Carthage are a slight threat to Numantia because they have a settlement in the south of Spain, we need to not ally with them just because I don't want to jeopardise a Spanish alliance. So they want trade rights and map information. That's fine. They should be relatively rich, Carthage, in the early game. So I would like a single payment of 800 denarii. Let's see if they accept that. If they do, we've got a deal. They do. This is very good. Okay, so we've got quite a bit of money through diplomacy, which is nice. Germania's over here. They want to talk again. Trade rights and map information. I'd quite like an alliance as well. Because they're already spying on us. I'm a bit worried they're going to attack. We need to do what we can to deter them. Alliance, trade rights and map information. I'll offer map information as well. Hopefully they respond well. An alliance will not be a good thing. Okay. Fair enough. I don't think we can even make an offer of map information anymore, which is a shame. I had to take that risk. Even if they are a threat, and yeah, they're not interested in talking. Now, hopefully they will next turn. And yep, we are being attacked by the British. Okay, this is going to be a tough fight. Brennus, 520 men against this captain of warbands. They're pretty much the same as ours. Slingers, which are decent. They don't look decent, but I do quite like slingers. These chariot archers, which are going to be annoying, very, very annoying. And then the main force is Belenus. Barbarian peasants are nothing. They're just a waste of a unit. We need to get them routing very quickly with the cavalry. And then 2 warbands, the same as what we've got as well. And a general who looks slightly better than us. Let's have a look. Factionaire, command talent, sharp, stern, devout, and a social drinker. So they're all good traits. So this is going to be a tough fight. We need to win this one. This is vital.
Tonight we feast.
Right, so looking at the map, the first force are coming up from here. That's where the settlement should be that we want to take. And then the second force, presumably, would be coming from this direction because they attacked us from the left or the west of us. So we kind of need to set up facing this sort of direction. Okay, so we need to work out how we're going to form this army up. The warband obviously going to be the front line because all the rest we've got is cavalry. There's no missiles at all, which is not what I'm used to. I'm used to playing with civilized factions, so using warbands and stuff like this is rather new to me, so hopefully I can utilise them well. Okay, now there are woods here, which I know the warbands have combat bonuses when hiding in woods or something like that, but honestly it just makes it more difficult to see what's going on for both you guys and myself, so I'm not going to do that in all honesty. The 3 units of warbands are obviously going to form the front line, as I said, and look, there's a lot of them, 121 times 3. The general needs to be at the back. He can't afford to die, even if he is quite old, admittedly. If any general we can throw away in battle, it is this one, because he is relatively old. And then the Barbarian Cavalry over here. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is try and pin maybe their warband and stuff here against this front line, and then move the cavalry around the flank, and then hit them from the side or something. I'll sort of work it out as I go along. The warband, I'd like to sit them, guard them, and just to defend the position. I am aware that they can just charge forward though, so that might not happen. Okay, let's start the battle. Let's have a look at what's going on. So yeah, as predicted, both units are coming from this direction and this direction. And you know what, I'm just going to let them come to us. I'm going to put us in formation. Oh, I've just clicked the withdraw button. Oh goodness.
Units group. Units fall back. Units stop. Units stop.
Oh my goodness, okay, that was not my finest moment. I clicked the wrong button. Okay, let's run into position before this happens again. That is a mistake I cannot be afforded to make. Okay, we have the chariots over here. This is going to be an issue. They're going to fire on us and there's nothing really we can do about it. I think we need to move forward against these guys, draw them into battle as quickly as we can before these guys, the reinforcements, come over. If they could run, that would be nice. Oh my goodness, it's disorganised. Okay, so we have slingers, warband, and warband. And the slingers are just going to try and, well, attack us, aren't they? So let's move forward again. Run. Right, okay, the slingers are retreating back as sort of I predicted. These warband, okay, let's pause it here. This warband needs to attack, this warband needs to attack, this warband needs to attack. Okay, now I need to move the cavalry around the flanks. So let's get this cavalry around here. Let's get this cavalry around here. And we'll get this cavalry around here. I know this is the general, so I don't want to risk it too much. Okay, that did not work. The cavalry did not do as told. They're already routing, that's excellent. So these guys need to be routed quickly. And attack. Okay, this cavalry can chase these guys off, that's fine. These guys are routing. Okay, this is excellent. Right, let's pause it quickly. There's a lot going on. Cavalry needs to attack these slingers. That's good. You need to mop up these guys. These slingers. There's these chariots over here. I'm going to ignore them for the moment. There's not too many of them. These warbands need to just continue doing what they're doing, in all honesty. Before these guys get here, we need to kill as many of these warbands as we can. Everyone should be running, I hope. Okay, that actually worked out very, very well. All 3 units are routing. These guys are running suspiciously fast, which is slightly annoying. And there's very few warbands, but they're just getting churned up in here. So 3 units of warbands are going to head here. Okay, so this has gone well so far. These warbands very slowly being churned down. Slightly annoying. Okay, these Barbarian Cavalry have basically dealt with these guys, so you can move behind here into the position you were earlier in. You can sprint, please. And then these cavalry, let's just pause it again very quickly. These cavalry have dealt with, these warbands, that's fine. That's good enough in my opinion. They can go there. And then the general, the reason the general's being slow is his heavy cavalry. I didn't consider that, but he seems to be dealing with these warbands. They're already broken. Let's just let him kill the rest of them. Okay, and then the general can come back here and sprint while he's at it. Hopefully those archers just run out of arrows soon, because they are annoying me. There's nothing very, very difficult to defend against these, really attack against these chariot archers, because they're so versatile. They can move quickly, they're agile, and you can't really get to them in time. They just skirmish. Okay, so let's get back into formation before these guys come. Let's get all of you into right. Don't click the withdraw button. Click this button. Put them into formation. Okay, I'm going to basically try and do the same against these guys. What have we got here? We've got peasants. They're nothing. I don't need to worry about them. 2 units of warbands, and this is the only concern at this point is the warlord. And we are being fired upon, which is not good. Okay, let's pause this. We've killed 14% of us have been killed. 40% of them have been killed, essentially. We need to move forward to get out of range of these archers again. So let's move forward around here. And you can run. Okay, so we're going to move forward against these, and we're going to do pretty much the same tactic. The only problem is there are these chariots right here, which are attacking very, very quickly. This is not good. Okay, okay, let's get these warband into these. I'm going to use 2 units of warband against these guys, and I'm going to move this cavalry back. The cavalry is just going to move this cavalry to the side. Okay, let's move these cavalry into the peasants. We need to surround the warband. The warband the chariots very, very quickly. 39 of them. Okay, we're killing them very, very quickly, which is good. These warbands are here. Okay, this is going very, very well. Their general is dead. This unit is routing. The general unit is routing, and I think we have got a victory here. I'm sorry I was a bit quiet there. I was just concentrating very heavily. We need to get as many of these as possible down. Okay, there's still this unit here. This unit looks like it's still standing, which is rather impressive. You guys come over here quickly. All into these units. They both collapsed. This is good. You can go back and start attacking them. Okay, we have lost quite a few units. The general, the light chariots are back, although they never went actually, did they? But all the rest of their army seems to be routing, so they shouldn't cause too much trouble. What's this warband doing? Chasing these guys. That's fine. Everyone should be running. I hope. Yes. No, they're not all running. That's not good. Okay. You get these guys. Those damn chariots. There's not a lot we can do about them, in all honesty. We need them just to go. We need to pin them down somehow. Let's see how the warbands do against these missile chariots. Not particularly well, it would seem. Seems like neither unit are dying particularly quickly. Hopefully we can get them to rout quickly. They're eager. Oh, they're down. Okay, that's good. And we've won. Okay, let's continue the battle, get as many kills as possible. That went surprisingly well. We were outnumbered, there were reinforcements. I want to get all these chariots down if possible, but I don't think we can, just because they're too fast. So both their generals died. This guy I'm not that bothered about, but this guy, Belenus, is down, which is good. One less general for the British. And let's have a look at these sort of statistics. 40% of us killed, which isn't great, but 85%, probably more by the end of this, have killed. So it means taking that settlement is going to be a lot easier, which is excellent news. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. And I think everyone's out of range now of getting killed, to be honest. They're just chasing each other at exactly the same speed. Yep, that is the battle. Okay. That worked out very, very well. Oh, there's still someone over here who's routing. Yeah, okay, they're going to be gone very, very, very soon. Okay, that worked out really surprisingly well. I'm very happy with how that went. Heroic victory. There we go. That's a good way to start the series. 689 kills, 520 men deployed, and they only got what, like 200 kills. So that's really good. There's only 80 odd of them left. So that's excellent. That's really, really good. So it means taking that settlement is going to be a lot easier. We should be able to do it next turn. We're only going to need one ram. There's only 80 of them around. Hopefully we recovered a few casualties as well. So let's have a look and see what remains of the British on the French mainland. Oh, we've got the settlement. Okay, so we've killed so many of them that there's none left to defend, and we have the settlement. Okay, let's have a look at the happiness. They're happy. Occupy, enslave, or exterminate. There's no need to exterminate at this stage. The people are happy. Occupying, we don't get a lot of denarii. Population to be dispersed. Okay, well, we're going to occupy the settlement. That seems like the right option to do there. Okay, so that has gone remarkably well. Let's have a look at the end of return report. We have 3,200 denarii. Faction announcements. Brennus has a shield bearer. That's always good. And a famous warrior. And plus, this is good. Okay, +1 morale for all troops in the battlefield. That's some really good retinue. So that's always good to see. Construction, recruitment, and diplomatic information. Everyone's at war with Greece. Okay. Now there's some. This is slightly concerning. There's a Spanish army just strolling through our land. I don't like that. Very close to a rather undefended Narbo Martius. Maybe I trusted the Spanish a bit too much. Maybe I did. Okay, hopefully they were already there and they're going to be going back down south or something. That's what I'm going to assume for the moment. That's the site of the famous battle, Brennus defeating Captain Velocatus of Britannia. So that's always nice to see. And we have this rather strong army. Now, there are still British on the mainland because they were there already. Really, what we need to do is obliterate their navy. They don't seem to have any docks at the moment, so this is the only force that is transporting troops from these 3 settlements over to our mainland. Now, I would attack it, but I think we both have 30 ships. I think they have 30 ships, and I feel like we're more likely to lose that than to win it. There's only 2 units here. I don't know if I should take the risk. We still can't build a dockyard here, which is slightly annoying. So what I'm going to do, rather than attack this boat, which I don't feel would end well, I'm just going to move it over to Rennes, and they can start transporting troops from Rennes over to this new settlement, which I can't pronounce the name of. Okay, so that's nearly going to be the end of this episode, but I think we can take Massilia. That should be relatively simple. Let's have a look at it quickly. 3 groups of rebels now. They're already rioting, which is... Oh no, sorry, it's under siege, my bad. Militia hoplites. The first phalanx troops we've come up against. They're decent, but they're poor morale, so we've got 2 units of cavalry. That should be enough. If we just surround them, they should collapse almost instantly. And then 2 unknown units. I would guess maybe peasants and some sort of skirmishers, and that's what I would guess. I think we should be strong enough to take these guys on right now. I'm not going to buy those barbarian mercenaries, that's just a waste. We do have a ram, don't we? Okay, we have a ram. I'm going to yeah, I'm going to take Massilia, let's hope so. Okay, so having a look at this screen, it looks like we have a massive, massive advantage. They have 2 units of militia hoplites and a peasant, so they're completely useless. 1 attack, 1 defense, and poor morale. Honestly, they're more of a liability than anything. They were in the last battle anyway for the British. So let's start this battle. Honestly, seems like a bit overkill, the amount of units we have against these guys, but they're going to be moving east anyway, so we might as well just make sure we take this place. And also we're going to need a few units to garrison it as well, so you know, it's always better to become over-prepared rather than under-prepared. Okay, so this is Massilia, or Marseille as it's known nowadays. Has a stockade, a palisade of some sort. Not very strong either way. So we should be able to take this with relative ease. Also, doesn't seem to be any sort of towers nearby the entrance, which seems rather odd, but okay, it suits me rather well. I'm guessing like the hoplites might be around here maybe, or around in the main street, forming a phalanx, which will be a little bit annoying because it means that we won't be able to get around them as such. I'm going to try and get rid of the peasants first because that's sort of easier. So let's move everyone forward. As usual, the warband go at the front. One of them's carrying a ram, and the 2 units cavalry can just chill along here. And then the skirmishers, which I don't think we'll need in all honesty, can just hang around here. Okay, so let's start the battle. Do I want them to be fire at will? Yes, but I don't want them to be skirmishing. Okay. Yeah, let's start the battle. Okay, let's just see what they've done. 2 units of hoplites around here, not on the main streets. Although I'm wondering they probably will be moving over there. And then I'm guessing the peasants are on the plaza defending that. So, okay, fair enough. The warband needs to knock down this gate, and everyone else needs to move forward. Yeah, we'll bring the skirmishers along, we might as well. And we'll move them just around here. Hopefully not in range of the towers, so I'll just move them more centralised. Here we go. Okay. So, as predicted, it seems like the 2 phalanx units are moving along the main street. So that's rather good. I'm going to move this forward a little bit. Okay, so the ram is at the door, which is excellent news. Okay, so there seems to be 1 unit of hoplites that are just sort of chilling near the main gate. I don't think the skirmishers will be able to hit them from here, but we can give it a go. Run along here. I don't know if they have enough range to hit them, but it would be quite nice if we could just hit them without them being able to get us at all. Oh, they can. This is good. Okay. So the skirmishers can do a bit of damage. Probably not a huge amount. They have shields, the hoplites. Let's see how much damage they do. Oh, no, they've... Wow, okay, that was rather quick. 68 they're down to already. Okay, so this is a good tactic. The ram is at the gate. I'm not going to move anyone through yet because the hoplites, they aren't going to move out of the city. They can't get to us. We might as well strike them from a distance before they can do anything. Basically, we've cut down the size of this unit by half already. Move it forward a little bit until the skirmishers run out of arrows. Okay, so that's them done. They can just move back. They're useless now. They have no sort of melee attack of note. Okay, so these hoplites are very weak. I'm just wondering, maybe a cavalry charge would be enough. Oh, they're already running away. Okay, that's nice. We have these hoplites here. So I'm just wondering the best way to do this. I don't think we need the general, in all honesty. I don't want to risk him running into a phalanx. Let's move this warband forward. And let's strike these guys. And then let's get the cavalry through, and they can hit them around the side as well. And that should be that unit taken care of almost immediately. So like, okay. I don't particularly want them running into a phalanx, lads. Wait for the cavalry to get here. Oh, this is a good idea. Okay, you can move the warband over here. No, they've already got into a fight. Come on, run away. Move the hoplites over here, and the cavalry can charge from them from the side. Sort of a 2-pronged attack should be enough to take these guys out. They're already very, very damaged. They've lifted up their spears, which is a big mistake. These warband can come charging in, and they should rout any second, hopefully. They're wavering, and they're broken. Okay, excellent news. These hoplites have seen what's up, and they're moving up to the plaza. So these guys can just chill here. We can bring... Let's just bring 2 units of warband. We might as well. Better safe than sorry. We'll move these guys here. In fact, let's just all move all these guys over to the plaza, or the sort of secondary, smaller plaza over here, not the main one. And we'll speed this up a little bit. Have we lost any units so far? I think we lost 4 horses, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's not too bad. Okay, so we have the phalanx and the peasants. Let's move the... Honestly, let's just move all these guys forward. I don't want to waste time too much. The peasants are absolutely nothing. It's these guys that are a slight concern. I'd rather fight them in the plaza. There seems to be a little bit more room there, if anything. So I think what we can do, get these horses around the side, which I should have probably done anyway, is get them round here. Hopefully bait the hoplites to come around the corner, which they have done. And all these guys can come charging in. If they'd like to run, that would be nice. Then the horses can charge into them before they can get into phalanx, if you'd like to run again. Guys, okay, we've lost quite a few warbands just because everyone was too slow, basically. Hopefully these guys are still steady, like they're being surrounded. It's quite phenomenal, to be honest. Let's get these guys towards the peasants. The horses seem to be doing no, they don't seem to be an okay job. Down to 40 already. 38. Okay, we've dropped the hoplites down to 34 units. With all these units on them, and they're just not breaking, which is quite phenomenal. I'm going to speed up a little bit because they should break any second. Yep, they've broken. Okay, that's game over for them. Everyone can just strike the plaza. There's a few rebels left there. And that should be the end of that. We took a bit more casualties than we should have there, I will admit. The horses... Oh, okay, we're down to 10 units of... 10 soldiers, 10 units of cavalry. It's not good, but it'll have to do. Okay, we've got the plaza. Enemy general fallen. Yeah, that's relatively obvious. We've captured all these buildings. That's nice. And who's left? Okay, yeah, there we go. Clear victory. We did get almost triple the amount of kills they got, but we should have, we shouldn't have lost as many men. Hopefully we'll be able to retrain them, recover them in Massilia, but the settlement is ours. Which is excellent news. We've gained, already in this first episode, we've gained 2 settlements. We've isolated the British to a certain extent. We've kicked them off the French mainland, which is the important thing. And we're sweeping across towards northern Italy. We've formed an alliance with the Spanish. I don't know how long that will last. I am a bit suspicious of them at the moment. So let's have a look at Massilia. They're fine, so we can occupy the settlement. Okay, so here we go. We own a lot of the French mainland. Really, it's only this settlement here. So, okay, that's going to be the end of this episode, I reckon. I'm just going to retrain these troops quickly in Massilia. No, I can't. Okay. I'm guessing it doesn't have the facilities, which is a bit of a shame. We'll increase the tax rate slightly, but not too much. Still 3.5 population growth. 3.5% population growth. Up here, can we retrain anyone? Yes, we can. Okay, don't want to retrain everyone. We'll retrain this warband. It's 112 soldiers in the unit, so 103 is still pretty good. We'll just retrain that. Okay, so this is the position we're in. I think it's a very good position. We already have quite a bit of map information. We have a fair amount of money, an alliance, 2 settlements claimed. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.